It's Albert Flynn DeSilver here, and this is Writing into Truth, our weekly free class. So nice to see you all. And just a little heads up, I'm going to begin this morning just kind of speaking a little bit to the moment. Some of you may have read my weekly message. It seemed to have stirred up quite a bit. And so I kind of just want to speak to that and also just make sure that hopefully there won't be any disturbances on the call this morning. But this is a place, as you know, if you know me and my work, this is a place of peace and of dialogue, positivity, creativity, joy and connection, inclusion and acceptance. So I'm not going to tolerate any hecklers or anyone who's seeking to interrupt our meeting. So just want to put that out there because I did receive a couple of very interesting emails in response to my weekly message. So just a little heads up there. It is 9 a.m. here in Northern California. Welcome, welcome. This is Writing into Truth. I'm Albert Flynn DeSilver. And I did post some stuff in the chat bar. And I'm not sure if some people can see it. Does everyone see it? I don't know. Okay, I want to get going here because it's already 9:01. So again, if you're new, welcome. I'm Albert Flynn DeSilver. This is Writing into Truth, our free weekly writing and journaling workshop and class. And before we get started this morning, I wanted to speak a little bit to the moment. I will tell you what these events are. So I'm going to begin with some upcoming events. The first one that's really terrific is it's happening actually this week now. I announced it about a week ago or a week and a half ago. It's called Paint, Pray, Flow. And this is a free summit integrating painting, writing, all kinds of different creativity with 25 artists from all over the place. I see some of you nodding. Alexis Cohen puts this together. She's a wonderful artist who's living in Los Angeles right now. And I just feel a real sweet connection to her. She's interviewed me twice now. And she puts on these really wonderful, generous summits that include, as I say, 25 artists, mostly women. There are a couple guys. I'm honored to be one of the guys included. And again, so it's a free thing that's happens all week. So my interview, I think, dropped yesterday. And then all week long, there'll be these different interviews. And oftentimes it's not just an interview, but there's also exercises and further resources. So it's kind of a cool thing. You can check that out in I think it's also in my email. So if you're on the list, then you can find that link. And if you have questions, you can always contact me. The second thing that's upcoming is I have partnered up with this wonderful woman, Jill Daniel, who has something called Happy Women Dinners. And normally these are live dinners that she hosts around the country. Of course, now she's gone virtual with a book club, and she's having some really interesting people join her for the book club. And it's a two-part series. So she's interviewing, well, actually, I'm interviewing Sarah Blondin, who's a really wonderful, sweet woman who's an incredible meditation teacher. You'll find her on Insight Timer, on the Insight Timer app. She's kind of a rock star there with zillions of followers. I think I've mentioned her before. But that's happening June 16th. And there's like a pre-book club interview for about 20 minutes on the 16th. And then we come back on July 7th, I think, for a longer extended. So everyone gets the book, and then you read the book, and then we discuss the book, and it becomes this interactive event on July 7th. So that's really cool. And that's Happy Women Dinners with Sarah Blondin happening June 16th. Again, I will put all these links out on the in the chat here, and then I'll make them available on the website as well. Third thing, June 20th is one of my monthly classes, which is a low cost. Every month I do a low cost class on a different topic related to writing practice. Sometimes it's just specific to a writing genre. Sometimes it's more about practice and process. So this month it's called Overcoming Procrastination, Self-Doubt, and Comparison Mind, which we could probably all relate to experience of those. So this will be a 2-hour kind of intensive, there will be a meditation component because as I experience it, the only way to overcome these hindrances is through mindfulness practice and contemplative practices. So that's happening on June 20th. And that's a 2-hour low-cost class. And other stuff is happening on the website. You can check it out there. Okay, so I want to begin this morning before we start writing. This will be part of the writing topic, but I just want to check in about the situation in the last, I think the protests here in the United States broke out on last Friday, after class, if I'm not mistaken, possibly earlier. And it's been an incredible week. I'm going to mostly encourage you to read my note to the community about just how emotionally devastated I am. You know, this has been going on far too long in our country. And, you know, this is not a sort of an opinion kind of a thing. I don't feel like, I feel like this enough is enough. And we need to take a stand as a country to make change really happen, substantial, real change. We're at a real turning point here in America. And this whole experiment of democracy is really being challenged. And I had a really interesting experience. I never really post sort of political stuff. You know, there's this whole thing about in business of just kind of keeping business neutral and keeping teaching neutral, which, you know, I can understand and appreciate. And there's a certain point where you just can't be silent anymore. And I feel in a lot of ways as a teacher, as an author, I'm a leader in the community. And I feel inspired to speak up and to speak out. And so I did through my weekly message. And 99.999% of the responses I got were really positive. But who knew I had some Trump supporters on my email list? Like, I had no idea. Like, I just thought it was so interesting that that there would be this draw. You know, I mean, of course, what I teach is very human and it's non-political and it's not about that. You know, it's about a human invitation to wake up spiritually, emotionally. But you would think that the sensibility would be sort of repellent in some ways. And yet, anyway, so there were a couple supporters who you know, spoke out. One woman in particular was, she was very pointed and expressive and pretty generous, but offended in some way. And so you know, my initial response, quite honestly, was to react, you know, to get defensive, because there's no, I don't feel this time there is no defense for the behavior of this kind of violence, the rhetoric that's coming from the leadership in Washington, which is not leadership. There's no defending that. You know, we're talking about humane, basic tenets of leadership and humane connection. Anyways, so my response initially was to want to kind of defend and, you know, and speak up for human rights and equity and, you know, And I found myself positioning, you know, taking a position. And so I had to take a step back and be like, okay, what's the most skillful thing I can do in response to this? And I felt like that maybe the most skillful thing was to just listen, to just sort of hear out the opinion and the belief, and to let it just express itself, and to be an observer rather than a reactor. And so we kind of went back and forth a little bit, and I said, you know, I apologize if I did respond in an unkind or what non-listening sort of way. And I would love to open up a dialogue. So that's basically where I went. I said, let's open up a dialogue. I'm willing to bet that our values, our human values, are pretty similar. There's places we can meet in terms of human values. How we get there, that's more of a political question, right? But let's meet first with human values. And so we went a little bit back and forth on that, and I just opened up that invitation. And I just got an email this morning that said she's not interested in communicating and having that dialogue. So I don't know what to do with that. The other email I got that was quite, you know, I was called stupid, I was called all kinds of names, Bolshevik, all kinds of, you know, socialist, blah, blah, blah. So this was a lot of anger and kind of rage coming at me. And I just did the same thing. You know, I just said, thank you for your opinions, and, you know, let's open up a dialogue. That's basically what I said. Let's communicate. I'm happy to hear your thoughts. And nothing. So I feel like, you know, this is the best we can do in response to this. We can open up dialogue. We can listen. What are the tenets of nonviolent communication? Which isn't, I mean, we're not, it doesn't mean that we're passive. It means that we do speak out, but we speak out with compassion, with understanding. You know, if someone wants to be really entrenched in an opinion, in a belief, the thing that's going to just inflame that opinion and belief and expand it outwards is resistance. You know, is coming up against it with your own opinion and belief. Even if your opinion and belief is really beautiful and is in alignment with humanity and goodness and with love, right? Which I think is all of our intentions, right? And yet there's still going to be that. So what do we do? And so I think that the thing that I can do is to try and practice these tenets of nonviolent communication, and to open up the dialogue, and to listen, even when things are repellent. You know, things when I hear are repellent, and to not agree with them. But to voice my understanding of the situation, coming from a place of humanity, from a place of inclusion, from a place of love and kindness. Nothing in the current administration is coming from kindness, is coming from inclusion, is coming from a sense of base humanity. Nothing. So there's no argument there. You know, there's really no arguing there. What we can continue to do is to be models of light, to be models of love and kindness, even when it's really difficult. And I'm feeling it all the time right now. You know, I'm feeling the contrariness, I'm feeling the rage, the anger. I have it in me too. I have that rage. I have that same right-wing reactionary rage in this body here. I need to own that and make a decision, make a conscious decision to behave differently. To behave differently, and to take action in a positive way. So this is our task, and here we are writing together. Here we are communicating together, and so the question is, how do we want to communicate? What do we want to write? How is our meditation practice? How is our writing practice serving this moment? Not that we need to be a political writer necessarily, but what is our creative intentionality for this moment, I think is the question. So I kind of want to leave that out there in a way. And again, this isn't about agreeing or disagreeing. It's just about trying to reconnect as deeply as we can to our humanity, to our sense of fairness and connection and love and community, and what serves the boat and benefits the most people. Okay, so excuse me. The writing exercise. Let's jump into it. So we're going to do this again in two different tiers. We're going to do a free write for a few minutes, and then I'm going to have offer up a little bit more open, sort of what I call discerning mind writing time. But this first few minutes is just going to be kind of writing straight from the body, straight from the heart. You know, straight from that. If you're feeling it, if you're feeling the anger, you're feeling the rage, you're feeling the confusion, you're feeling the whatever you're feeling. See how you can write from that place. And the best way to do that is through this urgency writing, right? Through the time writing, just going margin to margin. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to stick to the topic. You don't have to show this to anybody. You just get to be yourself in this moment on the page, okay? And so I'm gonna throw out this topic and we'll just see what happens. So on your marks and get set. And here is the prompt. My role now. My role now. And go. Just a reminder, keep those pens moving. Don't pause to think. Don't pause for right or wrong or spelling or punctuation or any of that. Just keep the pens moving. About one more minute. Okay, there's the bell. So bring this piece to a close as you can. And right now, what I want you to do is put your pen and notebook down. And wherever you are, stand up. And I'm going to invite you to take a single deep breath inward through your nose. Here, I'm going to try and turn my thing up here. And simply close your eyes gently. Take a single deep breath inward through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just feel into your body for a moment. Breathing into your belly. Kind of grounding yourself out a little bit. Sensing into your experience of the body. Take another single deep breath inward through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. And then you can open your eyes and sit down and come back to your notebook and your pen. And just continue on with my role now. But what I want you to do is this isn't free writing right now. So this is writing using discerning mind. And as much as you can, I want you to write from just the sensations in your body, whatever that means to you. Write from the sensations of your body. If you can sense into the emotionality, if that means, literally naming some of the prickling sensations or the throbbing sensation or whatever's going on for you around that phrase or that idea, my role now. And just see where this takes you. You can work with the free write or just riff off the free write. And we're going to spend a few minutes with this, about 5 minutes, writing into this with discerning mind. You can add whatever additional details come to mind. You can edit and tinker and tweak. But really just trying to write from this place of embodiment, of sensation. And I will be quiet. We keep this conversation going in your community. Keep this intentionality, this clarity, this creativity. It's so beautiful to listen to all of you, to hear you all. And those of you who have spoken and those of you who have not spoken, I acknowledge you, I hear you. And I think this is, this is a powerful conversation that just needs to keep expanding and keep growing with each one of us. And it does begin with us, right? It begins in our own hearts. And we, the people, do have the power to make significant change in our respective countries. And so I just want to honor you and thank you all for your courage here and your commitment to creativity and to awareness and to being willing to listen to points of view that you may not agree with or may not understand. And be willing also to share your creative wisdom with the world. And as you hear me say a lot, we need your voices now. I've heard some incredible statements and ideas and visions. And this is what we need. We need vision. We need visionary voices like yours to reimagine these broken systems of government, these broken systems of healthcare, these broken systems of racial injustice. There are models out there and they need supporters. They need people like us to articulate, to communicate them more clearly from that space of compassion, from that place of wisdom and heart and inclusion. And this is all part of our role. It's all part of our role. So I want to close in this last minute by just saying a quick dedication of merit, that may our time together here collectively, our willingness to show up and our willingness to write with compassion, with vision, may it radiate out into our families and touch our families. May it radiate out into our communities and heal and be a point of wisdom for people in our communities, for people in our country, for people we don't know, and for people that we don't agree with or understand or have familiar with. May our intentionality for peace and for beauty and for connection and for wisdom, may that radiate out and influence all beings everywhere with positivity, love, and kindness. And I want to just thank you all so much for being here. I am so heartened by this community, by this connection. Let's keep the conversation going with our friends and families. I look forward to seeing you next week. Feel free to spread the word. Feel free to join us for some of these different events upcoming. I hope to see you on the 20th. That'll be a really great time to practice together. And till next time, stay healthy, stay well. And if there's anything I can do for you between now and next week, feel free to reach out. With love and gratitude always. Thanks, everybody.